Got it on another stand here. We gotta wait until the new stand gets here. All right. First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens. I had to do some painting because we had to remove the two shelves in the back, and I had to do some pasting, getting ready to prep that surface to get it ready to be painted over. We're gonna be talking about projector comparisons. Are you really saving any money? Now, as I said before, I was gonna come in yesterday, or today, and talk about this. And the reason why we're talking about this is because companies and people who use high-end expensive projectors in their demonstrations, again, like I said, are basically cheating you out of money. And the reason why they're cheating you out of money, and the reason why I say is because the only way that you're going to be able to achieve that image that they're doing in that environment, it's going to have to be on that projector. The only way you're going to be to get the image, you're going to have to be on that projector. And I've said this many times before. You know, if you go to any site and you look at any big company or a small company, and you see the image that they're using, if they're using a 4K projector, if they're using 8K, if they're using 10K, whatever it may be, in order for you to get that exact same image, you're going to have to go in and you're going to have to spend the money for that projector. Now, for those just saying, no, but I can achieve the same image with the same projector, and no, you really can't. Because if that was the case, again, why would you spend $3,300, $5,000 for a projector if you can just basically just go in and do the same thing with another projector of a lower caliber? So no, that's not true. So when you're watching someone do these demonstrations on these high-end projectors, as I said before, this is basically cheating the customer because the customer is not getting exactly what he paid for. And this is why when looking at other customers, their screens don't look the same way. Now in our demonstrations, we like to use projectors that are much lower than what most people will use for their home theater setup. And because we do this, this means that the customer can go in and buy a projector for the price that we paid for it in order to get the same image. Because the screen paint does all the work, not the projector. One of the things I learned when I worked with other companies is the fact that they will go out and get a very advanced projector to boost contrast, to boost color, and do certain things to make the screen do something that it can't normally do if it was using a basic projector. And this is why we put in the 1-year swap out. Now, the 1-year swap out challenge was for people to were using these high-end expensive projectors to swap out their projectors for 1 year for a 720p, for a projector that was much, much lower than what they're used to using in their demonstrations, and to use more lighting in the environment, use much larger screens to show the customers that they're not basically being bamboozled. When you do a demonstration with a 100-inch screen, a smaller screen, especially on ultra short throw, you are guaranteed to get a tighter, more brighter image, especially if the environment is too dark, number one. You're going to be able to cheat a little when it comes to your contrast levels and color. So that's what the 1-year challenge was. 720p challenge was to remove these expensive projectors out of these demonstrations, put them in a fully lit environment, and put them on a much bigger screen size. Now, in my demonstration, we're using our NEC $60 projector, which is sitting there on the floor. Sorry, we can't get it removed. We got the stand situated somewhere. But I'm gonna see if I can pick this up a little bit because I like you to see this. So that is my 720p NEC projector. I got that on eBay for around $60. That's what I paid for it. That projector, I think, has a 2001 contrast ratio. It's a very old projector, 3600 lumens. And my screen size, probably when last I measured it out, we did it in here, was around 148 inches. A lot of people go near these cheap knockoff projectors because the big ones, the ones that cost $3,100, due to the fact that they'll buy those projectors because they'll say, well, you know, I don't get 100% 4K, but I can get a bigger screen. Guess what? You can get a bigger screen with our technology too. You don't have to spend all this money for a projector. Now, the reason why it doesn't look well, and they've done this on gray screens and they've done this on white screens, the reason why it doesn't look well is because, number one, a gray screen or white screen is automatically going to have a problem just being used at 100 inches, even 120 inches, because the screen can't pick up contrast and color, and the image is going to deteriorate. Where a black screen is not going to have that issue in a fully lit environment because they're designed to absorb light. That's true ambient light rejection technology. That's why I said our demonstrations are clearly unmatched. Now, getting back to price-wise, again, I explained to people that if someone's using a 50,000, if they're using a 30,000, if they're using 12,000, even at $4,000 to $5,000, even $3,300, This is what you're going to be paying for in order to get the same reaction. The projector we have sitting on the floor, it cost me only $60. I'm actually planning to buy another one because that projector has a stand connected to it, which is used for our downstairs floor display, and I have to purchase another projector. Price I'm going to be paying for my second projector, probably about $130 to $140. That's basically about it. Because if I want to do the exact same thing that I'm doing in this demonstration, I want the same image and so forth, I'm just going to buy the same projector. And the same projector is only going to cost me $130 to $140. Where, if you go to do this demonstration on anybody else's product that's using a high-end projector, especially in a darker environment, because you got to calculate that, but using a high-end projector, you're going to spend $3,300 or more because you got to pay for what they're using in the demonstration. So that's the reason why I explain to people when you're watching these demonstrations on these high-performance screens, the first thing I look at is their projector. What kind of caliber projector are they using to display their product? And I guarantee you, it'll be nowhere near under $300. Not going to happen. They're using the most expensive advanced projector to make up for what the screen can't do. So comparison, are you really saving any money? No. If you want to get the same image I have here, it'll cost you under $200 for that projector. And if you want to get the same image on everybody else, you're going to spend $3,300 or maybe more for those ultra short throw projectors. That's what you'll be paying for. This is why we don't use high-end projectors. This is why I consider even with the big companies and the hobbyists that they lie when they do demonstrations saying that you're going to be to get the same image. Not going to happen. You don't own that projector, so you're not getting that same image at all. And this is why they use excuses like, oh, if you want to pick up your colors like mine, and I've heard this before in a demonstration. We had this recorded on a demonstration. Someone's saying, if you're going to pick up colors exactly like mine, you have to buy a particular product in order to get your colors to calibrate the way my image is over here. So if they don't purchase that particular product, that means they can't calibrate, use those calibrations that you're using on your projector. And the fact that you mentioned the projector being calibrated, which most of them are, means your projector is doing something that the average projector can't do. So what if you have a customer who doesn't want to calibrate? Then that means he's going to get less of an image. It's kind of what's stated in the video, and it's stated in a lot of videos. Not only that's a problem, again, if you want to get the same display we have here, guess how much your projector is going to cost you? Under $200. I'm planning to buy another one of these projectors for this setup, $130. That's my price tag. That's what I'm paying for. If you want to do any other demonstration, whether it's with Certified, Elite, Dark Star 9, whatever big company may be out there, whether it be these hobbyists out here, you're going to spend $3,300 or more for your projector. That's what you're paying for. That's why if you notice, if you look at the customer demonstrations, which we have observed quite closely, none of them match the demonstrations. None of them match the promo demonstrations. You know why? Because in the promo demonstration, they weren't using the screen paint on that wall. They were using an extremely, very expensive projector laying against that surface when it was hit with that P2. That's what they're paying for. We're on our computer right now. Let me go switch out of this. Put something in. But that's what they were using. Very expensive projector screen to display that image. But the technology we have here, we're only paying $60. My projector was only $60. No calibration at all whatsoever. And then look at the size of my screen. This is an ultra short though, displaying a 148-inch screen in a fully lit environment. Demonstrations I saw, even under the P2 itself, every single demonstration except one was displaying the exact same as the promo. And that particular person that was the one had a $3,000 Dark Star 9 at 100 inches laying against his wall. Everybody else under that promo demonstration was in the dark. Every single one of them, because they didn't have a $3,000 screen sitting against the wall. In order for you to have that ultra short throw technology on that level, you had to spend money. Ultra short throw screens are special screens. They cost a lot of money, a lot of money. So, on top of that, quite curious too, how was he displaying an ultra short throw on a Dark Star 9? Does he have the Dark Star? He had a Dark Star 9 ultra short throw version, because I've seen that one. The Darkstar 9, the one I have over here, is not ultra short throw compatible, but they do have one that is an ultra short throw, and it is basically ultra short throw compatible. It's a lot more money. It's like a couple $1,000s more or something like that, but it's up there. So if you want to do an ultra short throw high performance screen, like in the P2 promo commercial, that's a couple $1,000s easy. We're not talking about $3,000 is the actual short, not just short throw, but regular long throw. We have it downstairs, long throw screen. That's $3,000. When you switch over to an ultra short throw, your price tag jumps up to a couple $1,000s more. So you're going to pay a lot more money for that screen. You're going to pay for the $1,000. So that sums it up right there. You're definitely going to pay money for a screen, high-end screen. When it comes to being able to use the projector's ability of how much you're going to spend when you watch these demonstrations with people that are displaying the ultra short throws, whatever they're using in that demonstration, if you want that exact same image that they're pulling off, you're going to spend $3,300 and up. You're going to have to get something equal or more. And if anyone sits there and tells you, oh, but you can calibrate your projector to look the same way, well, if that's the case, why would you spend $3,300 for a machine that you can turn around and spend way less and calibrate it to look that way? Because you can. That projector has particular perks that are built into it to make it do certain things. This is why when I used to go to work with a few of these companies, they would be in there discussing what projectors they were going to use in a showroom with our products. And they would say, okay, we're going to go with the so and so and so because it has like so many million to one contrast, and that's going to pull heavier, darker levels. Because remember, we're developing gray screen paint at the time. We're going to go with this particular projector because it has amazing high honey colors. It can push out. They would just have a table full of these projectors that they were reviewing on which ones to use to basically advance the screen's capabilities. So I've seen this happen before, and basically in meetings. So I know for a fact that when I walked that meeting, I was like, good gracious. I mean, you got to be kidding me. And we were all over here using 720p projectors. That's how we got in there. That's how we got the contract, because we used a 720p old projector, and these guys are using projectors that cost $3,000 and $4,000. And they're thinking, gee whiz, this guy's over here doing this on a $200 projector. Imagine what it looked like on this technology over here. That's how we got over there. And I'm like, this is what they do? So it gave me an insight of seeing exactly how they go in and they buy these high-end expensive projectors to try to make the image look good. Even at that, with the high-end projectors, the image still does not work well for me at the end of the day. Again, still same concept, still same dark environment, still same poorly lit ambient light environment, overpriced projectors, calibrated, just waste of money. $60, that's all I'm paying. And I am on my computer. What do we have going on here? $148 So also too, for those of you who have those WeMax and other projectors out there, we already know the story behind the whole pixel shifting technology to make the image like it's 4K. We all know that's nonsense. But the reason why they like those projectors is because the fact of being able to display a 150-inch screen, which is something they will never ever see. And the reason why they won't see it, and I've had a conversation with a few people about this on different forum sites, there's no way in the world you're going to be able to compress and try to expand at the same time. It doesn't work that way. It's one or the other. So you can't get the 150-inch screen if your pixels are constantly compressing to get a sharper and brighter image. It doesn't work that way unless you have a pixel generator that's going to generate all new pixels in your machine, which it doesn't do that. So how do you get the 150 inch and compress at the same time? You can't. That's the reason why most of the time when you see these screens, you will see them at 100 inches. At 100 inches, you can compress an image pretty good. That's why we watch a lot of demonstrations on ultra short those involving P2s and P1s and so forth. We have noticed that the screen size is only a certain size because it allows them to be able to compress a much more sharper, more vivid image. And on top of that, they do it in a more darker, more controlled environment so the screen doesn't wash out that much. We see all that. I watched it dozens and dozens of times on Fernando's demonstrations. Dozens of times. Every time a demonstration is done in a dark environment. There's no excuse for a projector that has a 2,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio to be sitting in a dark environment when displaying a contrast level. No excuse for it. And the size of the screen, way too small. Because again, you need to see this on a much larger level. What happens if you want to do outside 100 inches? Now what? Can you display on 120? Can you display on 130? Can you display on 150? What can you max out on that surface before it starts to deteriorate? We're not talking about dark environments. We're talking about well-lit environments. That's what we're talking about. No cutting corners, doing it for real. So in the next couple of weeks, as a matter of fact, our main projector in here is going to be ultra short throw. We're going to be talking a lot about that. What are you really spending money on? Which one of these? Got two of these over here operating at the same time. I gotta figure out which one's which. One likes to play games, one likes to work, one doesn't like to work. I'm ready to go. There it is. There we go. My gaming mouse has an attitude sometimes. It wants to show up, it doesn't want to show up. We don't even know why. So it just shows you what you're getting. My screen, again, 720p projector right there, 148-inch screen, fully lit environment. That's what you get from our technology at the end of the day. Everybody else, well, we're going to do that research today. How many people are displaying the exact same demonstration we're displaying in our demonstration, and how much did they pay for their projector to do so? I guarantee you that most, as a matter of fact, all of the screens we run into will be on screens at 100 inches, maybe at 120, if at most, but mainly on 100 inches. And I guarantee you these projectors are going to be nowhere in our price range. Our projector price range starts off at $200. That's what we pay for ours. Now, keep in mind, when a person constantly says you're getting quality, no. You're not getting quality from the paint. You're getting quality from the projector. This is why we put out a 1-year challenge. Guess what's coming back? The 1-year challenge, 720p challenge, which means you have to swap your projector out for a 720p projector, and all demonstrations must be done in a fully lit environment. Lucky we didn't put a screen size in there, but guess what? In this one we are. Screen size must max over 130. Because I know that most projectors do not go past that 130 mark. The P2 only goes to 120. That's why we asked for 130. Could be worse. We could ask for 140. That'd have been even worse. So we know once you max out between that, your picture quality is going to deteriorate extremely rapidly fast if your screen paint doesn't have the ability to be able to maintain the image. Now let's see how many people can back up their product. 1 year. 720p only. They can use ultra short throw, perfectly no problem whatsoever. Price range of the projector must be under $200. This is not going to go well for some people that depend on these high-end projectors, and screen size must be 130 and up. We're doing it easily. Like I told you at the end of the day, demonstrations that we do on, this is normal for us. This is a normal demonstration for my technology. 148 inches, $60 on projector, fully lit environment. This is normal. For everybody else, this is a challenge. We're already doing this right now. The very same challenge we're giving, we're doing it right now. So that's what we want to see. Fully lit environment. Now, mind you, look at the size of my screen. It meets where the lights are. That's how it's supposed to be done. Because at the end of the day, how much are you going to be spending for your setup? What's that going to cost you at the end of the day? For my customers, well, we haven't told you the price of what the Titan technology costs, but I guarantee it's a lot less than a $3,000 or $4,000 ultra short throw screen. A lot less than that. Way, way less than that. My projector definitely is one thing people think about the most. How much is the projector going to cost me? Way less than that also too. So the beautiful thing about this technology we have here, like I said, our customers are not forced to buy a high-end projector. Go to any one of these big companies and say, look, I'm interested in buying your product, but this is the projector I want to use. I want to use a 720p so-and-so. Like, no, you can't use that. You're going to need a really good high-end projector for that. They're going to point you in the direction of a Berserk projector that's going to cost you a lot of money. The reason why is because that projector is going to make up for all the things that that screen can't see at the end of the day. That's why you're going to spend the money for it. Because it can't make up for what the screen can't do. You're going to have to buy the high-end projector. So you're going to be a couple $1,000s in. Anybody who's using one of these projectors, these hobbyists, Fernando, who may be using one of these high-end projectors, if they come in there and tell you can calibrate to get the same image, complete lie. You're not going to be able to calibrate that. That's nonsense. You do a teardown, there's a huge difference between the parts in that machine and the parts in my machine. Huge difference. So in order to get that same image, you're going to have to buy that same projector or more. Or my customers will come in and they'll buy the projector I'm using in my demonstration, and it will cost them under $200. Now, for those who are going to sit there and say, well, you know, your product is like $300, $400. Yeah, $300 to $400, because my screen took out 18 certified projection screens. This one took out 9 of them, which means those screens range anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 easily. The others never did any of those demonstrations. Max out zone test, they've never done those demonstrations. Distance throw, they didn't do those demonstrations. Low lumen test in a max out zone, they didn't do those demonstrations. Low lumen demonstration, distance throw, max out zone with certified, they didn't do those demonstrations. Outside demonstrations, they didn't do those demonstrations. There's a lot of demonstrations they didn't do. Black versus black, white versus our technology, they didn't do those demonstrations. Testing other products against your screen, that's another paints, which I drew on the screen multiple times, they don't do those demonstrations. They rely on dark environments and high-end projectors to make their products look good, and a lot of calibrating, something we don't require. So that's why they don't match us. So at the end of the day, when my customers go out and spend $300, $400, $100 for our products, they can go, well, why am I spending money for this? Money, I got people out there who make a lot of money, I know. Hold on a minute. We gotta get this thing, this mouse is, here we go. I get it mixed up. We got people out there, I got people, customers I deal with that can cough up 20 grand for a screen. They can cough up $250,000 easily for a sound system. They can pay anywhere from $4 to $5 grand for one of that chairs you sit in front of me. They can pay that kind of money. They got that money at the end of the day. But even with them having that kind of money, they still want to save a buck. Now I can go in there and say, hey, look, any screen you have in here in your selection, where you got the Dark Star 9, where you got this, where you got that, so and so and so, we can show you where we tested against it and we beat that screen with no problem. That's the reason why they buy our technology, because we can back it up 100%. Where the other ones can't do that because their screen paints can't beat basic house paint. And we beat the crap out of house paint, both of them. This screen already tested and beat the Network Grade 773 and 3 different versions of Sherwin-Williams black paints. Like I said, demonstration, I drew on my screen. How many people have done that demonstration so far? None. So my customers go out and spend $300 for my product. They're getting a product that can do all that and above that, because no one's ever beat any of our test demonstrations. So what's the cost for them? Well, a 48 ounce of our technology will paint a screen size of 80 inches. I know we got the demonstration, we tested it, we did it already, we can back it up. We're not just talking on camera for the sake of talking on camera. So consider the fact that that technology that they're painting that can do a 180 inch screen has beat several certified screens that range anywhere for a basic 100 inch that would cost you somewhere between $3,000 to start and up. If you want to do a 180 inch of one of those screens, a DMP Supernova will cost you $17,000. On top of that, in their demonstrations, they're not displaying their ultra short those like this. Show me one demonstration right now on YouTube of anybody doing a demonstration on a $60 ultra short throw 720p projector at 148 inches on the screen in a fully lit environment. One person, show it to me. There is none. We are the only ones because they can't do this demonstration. See how our reds pull up? See how there's no tarnish and wash out to the screen? There you go. Now, as I said before, saving you money. So my customers will spend, let's say for the 38 Black Widow, they pay about $556 for that technology. With the projectors they pay for, they're under $500. If they were to go out and spend money for the high-end screens that we test in our demonstrations, Dark Star 9, $3,000 easy from the door at $3 grand. 100-inch only. Mind you, 48 paints up to a 180-inch screen. You'll be getting a 100-inch screen for the price tag of $3,000. Your projector would cost you anywhere in the price range of, you can spend anywhere from $1,800 to anywhere to $3,000 to $4,000. Remember, your starting mark for your screen is $3 grand. So anything you jump on that will hit the $4,000 to $5,000 mark already from the door. So my customers have already saved a ton of money right from the door. As for the hobbyists, well, like I said, because they can't back their products, especially they can't back their products against house paint, you don't know what you're getting at the end of the day. Mind you, this individual only did one screen paint product on the network grade 773. He didn't do the rest of them. And the reason why he didn't do the rest of them, because when he saw how badly the match was, he stayed away. Usually if you beat a screen product, like one of our screens we tested in here, and say it beats the crap out of a certified screen, I'm putting it against every screen we have in here because I want to see how it's going to react to every screen we have in the environment. How is it going to look on this one? How is it going to look on that one? Let's test this one. Let's test that one. But when that demonstration was done, it was done on one product only. It wasn't done on the rest of them because that one product had an issue where it matched the screen. Could not go through the same process of seeing it match the other screen paints. And that test should have been done thoroughly. When you do a test, it's supposed to be done on all your products, not just one. That's another reason why we know that it's matching the products for no problem, because the first one didn't go too well. The second one definitely didn't go too well. So we know that from the door. So before I get over and start working on my wall here, because I have work to do today, it just shows our customers at the end of the day that, number one, with our products, you're going to get that 140, 150-inch screen that most people want so badly to have. Is the reason why they buy those particular projectors. Number two, you're not spending a lot of money. Who's going to go out and spend all this money for these screens, these projectors, because you don't have to make up for what the screen can't do. Number three, our screens do all the work. That's why I'm here at $60, 148 inches in a fully lit environment, and my screen looks amazing. There you go. Gotta watch those demonstrations. People will sit right there and lie to you in these demonstrations and tell you these products are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're not. All smoke and mirrors. Darken, that's what I told you. Watch demonstrations, look at the background of the screen, look at the environment, see how much light you have in there. Observe all of that in those demonstrations. As a matter of fact, use our demonstrations to compare to everybody else's. This is what we advise you to do. I forgot. I like to have a little fun here. Reacts the same way. Doesn't make a difference what we have in here. If you can't pull a 148-inch screen up in a fully lit environment, there's something wrong with your product. You should be able to do that with no problem whatsoever. Now you can see my windows are open. I got light pushing in. There's my screen right there. Excuses, people. That's what I see when I watch these demonstrations. Excuses, especially when I saw that demonstration on. I saw that demonstration. I don't know, ABS forms, or no, Projector Central did that demonstration. All those ultra short throws In that demonstration, and that environment was that dark, those screens were that small, 100-inch screens, and every last one of those screens was a 100-inch display in there. Of course it was, because they can compress the image as tight as they possibly can. They'll keep it at 100 inches. They won't go any farther than that because the image would deteriorate, that's why. But you mean to tell me all those powerful machines that were sitting in about, every last one were 4K projectors. And you had all that power in that environment, and that environment was that dark. Literally when they were setting up the projector, there's plenty of light, of course, because you got to see what you're doing, you're hooking this stuff up. But the minute the showroom went in the display, the first thing they was darken the environment, and then had a nerve to put these white lights in the corner to give off the illusion that the environment was bright. That was so sad, it was unbelievable. And you spend all that money? I could imagine what they paid for the screens, and the screens were a couple $1,000s, they had to be. There was no way in the world they're going in there with screen paint, they're doing something completely different there. So you spent all that money for those screens, all that money for that projector just to end up in a dark environment with some white light in the corner, that's it? And we're doing this at $60 at 148 inches in a fully lit environment. Why am I ceiling lights on? Why I got the windows open? Are you kidding me? This is why I've been telling you from day one that all that protocol nonsense that you have to be in the dark, you have to be in an ambient light rejection, you have to calibrate your projector, you have to spend all this money. Bullcrap, 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 bullcrap. All a lie. All of that is just simply protocol to tell you that our screen can't do this, so you must do this. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes to. That's why they had the expensive projector. We are officially, now since we're talking about ultra short throws, we're talking a lot about this because we're going to have this projector in this environment. If I'm going to do a demonstration ultra short throw, we don't do it like everybody else. We're not going to be in a dark environment. We're not going to have a little tiny screen size. We're going to do this at a big screen size to show you at the end of the day you can have this. You don't have to spend all this money to do this. Now, if you choose, you want to go up and get 4K, hey, knock yourself out. If you want to get 1080p, knock yourself out. But at least with our technology, you know what you're getting. If we could do this at 720p at $60 in a big screen like this in a fully lit environment, imagine what you can do. Now, for those who are saying that their products work on these 720p projectors, well, we suggest you put your money where your mouth, where your money, how it goes. At the end of the day, the 1 year challenge is officially on as of today, but this one's going to be a little different. Gentlemen, screen sizes must max out over 130. I did say 130, but it must be 130 and up. We don't want to see any 100-inch screens in there at all, period. 130. Now, let's see. Now, mind you, I'm being generous. My screen's 148 inches. It's quite big. On top of that, we got all this window light pushing through. And we got the overheads on. So you're getting it pretty easy compared to what we're doing in here. Much, much easier. So if your product works as you claim it does, you should have no problem doing the exact same demonstration. Oh, and I forgot to add, all contrast levels, every single one of them will be done in a fully lit environment. It has to match ours. Exactly. If you notice, people, let's stand up and let's show you we have no dark areas. This is what I'm doing the work at right now for the wall. We have no dark areas anywhere in the environment. See this? See this? We're taking a look around. No dark areas. Everything has plenty of light. See that? That's how it's supposed to be done. Now, the reason why we're choosing these 720p projectors is because, again, you will not have the ability to use 2 million to 1 contrast. Gone. You will not be able to use the same amount of color. Gone. You will not be able to calibrate. Gone. You will not be able to use dark environments. Gone. You will not be able to do demonstrations strictly on bright colors only. You'll be doing contrast levels also too. All that bright levels only. Gone. These many things I have to say has to be gone in their demonstrations. Smoke screens. So after this, we put the challenge up. Let's see how many are going to be able to swap those projectors out for 1 solid year. That's a long time, isn't it? For us, it's easy. We can do this outside if we want. All right. With that being said, I'm going to be back on. We're going to put in the 1 year challenge. 720p projectors, only fully lit environment, and keep in mind, screen size must be a size of 130 or over. And fully lit environment. Plenty of light. You don't see any dark environments. I don't see any pockets of darkness. I saw that in enough demonstrations. pockets of darkness. You see, I can see all my game items in the entire environment. No shadows casting over anything. This is what we want to see. If I can't see those objects in the front crystal clear, then there's a problem there. Your environment's too dark. You see my action figures sitting in the corner? You see how you can see all that crystal clear? You can even see the individual games I have sitting over there, my computer. Everything is well lit. This is how it's supposed to look in the environment when you're just playing ultra short throw, and that environment is well lit the way they say it is. You should be saving. There should be no shadows anywhere. So I'm giving you gentlemen a good idea of how it's supposed to be done. I get so sick and tired of looking at these fake demonstrations, people with these ultra short throw projectors saying, no, but this is how it's done. No, it's not done right. It is not done right. Complete, absolute fail. If your product does exactly what it claims it does, then you should have no problem getting rid of that projector for 1 year. Now, say if they ignore this and they don't want to do it, well, it just clearly shows you again that they have to depend on these high-end projectors. And if they have to depend on those projectors, that's what you're going to be spending the money. So at the end of the day, you're not saving any money. You're just spending a lot more. Certified companies, feel free to take the challenge if you want to too, but we know that's not going to happen ever. All right, I got to get back to work. I got customer demonstrations. I got projects I'm working on for other companies. And I have to get ready to paint the next room because we're doing the theater room today. We're painting that room with that special coating. That's going to be done, transforming that room, turning a master bedroom into a dedicated theater room. This is going to be fun to do. As I said before, I'm going to show you how to do one. It's not going to cost you a lot of money. And I will give up the ingredients on how we made it. Mine, it's not a screen paint product, so we're good with that. But we'll give up the ingredients or color code on how we got that particular strange color. All right, well, with that being said, guys, get to work in here. Much to do, giving you something to think about. How much are you really saving at the end of the day? How much do you have to spend when you watch these demonstrations? Anybody, and I don't care if it's certified, hobbyist, anybody comes in and tells you if they're using a high-end expensive projector that you're going to be able to calibrate to get that same image is a lie. Absolute, complete lie. Not going to work. If they're telling you that's the paint doing that and they're such and so, complete lie. Because at least you heard Fernando say that in one of his demonstrations on his UV-Mix. You sat there and said on camera, if you want this same image, you can't use it on anything else. You have to have my settings on my projector. In order to have settings on my projector, keep in mind, not all calibrated projectors are going to look the same when they're calibrated. That's virtually impossible because there's certain perks those projectors may possess. But to get those particular images in my projector, you have to have these particular settings right here, so and so and so. So, as he's saying, you have to buy this particular paint in order to use my settings for it to work at the end of the day. That shouldn't be a thing at the end of the day. So the fact that you have to go calibrate tells you right there from the door, it's a bit of an edge up, and you're not going to be able to do the same thing as a P2 versus a Sony DPL FH36, 31, or any one of those projectors, because there's going to be a difference. For instance, if I went out and I bought the Sony $50,000 coffee table, that thing would blow that thing clean out of the water with no problem whatsoever. That's a gorgeous projector. But if you came in and you saw that projector sitting there, that giant coffee table, and you say, well, how am I going to get that image? I'll sit there and tell you, well, all you have to do is calibrate your projector and you can get the same image. That is a lie right there from the door. No, you have to buy that machine to do it. That just tells you how much money you're going to save. So you're not saving, you're spending. All right. Again, until these individuals can back up their products with the 1 year challenge we just set, unless they can go in and what's that thing we have? No dark environments, none of that nonsense, no calibrating. We're going to strip all that away from you. No more. Let's see what you can do for 1 year. All right, with that being said, I'm going to get back to watching some TV because I want to watch some cartoons right now. I'm going to watch it. I got the Netflix up on here, do I? It's on the other one. I got to set my Netflix account on this one so I can watch cartoons off of this one. All right, got to go. Thank you all, and God bless.